Hello everyone. Here's my comparison of my European Open 2023. And this time I tried to make a different kind of movie. I tried to make it a little bit spontaneous, so it's like a little bit like a PowerPoint presentation, and watch some pictures and movies. And I want to make some analysis and want to tell you something about the courses, my feelings, and the whole competition. So let's start. So I packed my caravan and my car, and then we started first to Hamburg. So in Hamburg, I had a date for making my teeth. So I tried to divide the travel. So it was like on Friday, 1 week before, I took the road from Velbert or Wilfrat to Hamburg. The navigation was like 4 hours, but with the caravan, it was like 5. So I arrived in Hamburg at the evening, spent my night at the parking space at a dentist. And then in the next morning, there was the date at the dentist. So European Open starts very painful. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So after the dentist, I went to Odense. So like I said, I wanted to ride the travel a little bit, so it was like, with the car on like 4 hours drive from Hamburg to Odense. And there I had seminar with Tobias. Tobias was spending his holiday before in Denmark. Then we meet at the seminar place at Odense. So in the first evening, we had some time. So we put the caravan. We had a lot of space over there. Everything was perfect. So it was very cool to earn a little bit money, give some training, and train our dogs also on the grass, because our dogs are completely not used to normal grass. Normally we train just in the hall. I think my dog Cashew runs like maybe 10 to 15 times outrun in his outside in his whole life. So it was a good idea to use the opportunity to train a little bit. So for sure we had some nice evenings with some beer. And here's a short view about the seminar place. It was absolutely huge and absolutely amazing. And also very important to test the shoes, because normally I just have the indoor shoes. I think I have like super old Innovs from the European Open of 2018. And also from my childhood, old football shoes with super hard nubs. I think like 8 or 9 nubs and very long and fat ones. So with the multiple knobs, I think just good for dry grass, and the football shoes just good for soft ground when you can get inside with the nubs into the ground. So it was super interesting to test it a little bit. Very
sieht eher aus wie Saftkuchen.
Ja, ist der Saftkuchen. And for sure we had some time to make.
Ja, du musst dich nicht Saftkorn entwickelt sich zu Smetbo.
Amazing clip.
Das ist so blöd.
Cashew was also preparing a little bit. It was also funny. And after the first day of seminar, you can see the first problem, the rain. Like we are used from Germany, I think we just had good weather for weeks. It was just super hot. And then I came with t-shirt, short trousers. And when we come to Denmark, and like everyone knows who was there, it was a lot of rain. So new situation for us. And normally this is the morning of the second seminar day. At the first seminar day, we were very lucky with the weather, so we could train outside. The second day started like this, but there was one participant with the hall, so we were super lucky and went into the hall. So we did spontaneous course with some young dogs and some advanced dog, and had a very good second seminar day. So, and after the seminar, we had I think like 1 or 2 days free time, and visited Odense for sure, go swimming, a little bit shopping, and had nice evenings. And in the evening, for sure, also some time for walk the dogs. So I think the seminar place was absolutely perfect to relax a little bit before the seminar days. So this is the last evening. After this evening, we left Odense and drove to Horsholm. Yeah, with the caravan, I think it was like 2.5 hours, so super easy. So the organization of the travel was very, very good because we never had to drive super long all at once. Yeah, we arrived at European Open Field. I think everyone knows this is the space. In the evening, we had some times to go to Copenhagen, visit some friends. Ah, beautiful. Yeah, and had a nice evening. So at the seminar place, it was super, super cool because there were a lot of opportunities to walk the dogs. And I think with the bike, it was like 5 or 6 minutes drive to the beach. So very good opportunities to walk the dogs and so on. Yeah, even drive and gin. Just Cashew was qualified, so yeah, they had also to do something. So I put it my stuff for the dogs and the bicycle. So this is the training day. At the training day, yeah, I trained with Cashew, and in the beginning of the training, I had a lot of problems with Cashew and also with Via with the dog walk. It was a little bit crazy. Both were jumping from the middle of the dog walk, so I needed just like 3 or 4 or 5 straight dog walks to fix it. And then after this 4 or 5 dog walks into both directions, it fitted. It fits. So after the training, I want to do something with my other dogs, so I took my bike again and went to the beach. And the beach was absolutely amazing. There was a good sand, good water. I was also swimming. We enjoyed. Old gin. I'm tired. Yeah, and like I said, the surroundings of the European Open parking field were very, very good. So now let's go to European Open. So the judges were Stefanie Semkat. Stefanie Semkat is normally known for super, super difficult courses. I was a little bit frightened about her and trained super crazy stuff. But in the end, she had just like very fluent and beautiful courses. So they are always fluent, but normally a little bit more difficult. But I think her course at European Open were just very nice. And just means not bad. It means it was very nice and fitting to the competition. Then there was Kines. She also had super, super nice courses. Also super fluent, interesting. Isa Motka, also super interesting. He was judging our tryouts in our center, and I really, really liked it. He tried crazy stuff, but with very good lines. Yeah, then there was Regan Reinhardt. I think everyone knows there were a lot of discussions in the net. Yeah, and also after winning the medium final, I got a lot of messages like congratulations even in this different words course. I say my opinion a little bit later. I think what's happening to him is not fair. It's for me, it's absolutely too much. I'm not a big fan of making short distances, and I like fluent and nice lines for the dogs. Yeah, I see it with two different sides. I think some of his ideas are super, super, super interesting, but I would combine these ideas with a little bit more fluence. Yeah, and there was Morten. He also had very, very good courses. Generally, I was super satisfied with the courses. Just the course of Regin Reinhardt were, let's call it, a little bit different. So here we see the German team for European Open. Yeah, a lot of interesting people. But now I want to give a big thank you to Alex and Daniel. They were our team leaders, Daniel Walz and Alexander Beitel. I think they had a hard job this time because there were many starters with more than one dog, like Tobias with 4 dogs, so 1 dog in every category. So super hard organization for him. But Daniel and Alex did some special time schedules just for him to know when he have to run next and so on. So was super, super easy for Tobias or for me or for the other starters with 2 dogs to be just in time. They were running over the field all the day, giving us the informations over WhatsApp, and even there were the online opportunity from the organizer for us to show on ourselves, but they did a great job to help us and being there for us. So big thank you to Alex and Daniel. So I started to say thank you. So my next is to my sponsors: Becando, European Pet Pharmacy, Gladiator Plus, HZ NRW with Eager to Work, Dogs Physio, AP Alu Hundesportgeräte, and Rock My Dog. So here's the first run. It's the jumping team small. I had to run with VR. And my team, they were like Max Sprinz, Silas Bug, Tobias Wüst with Dörte, and me with VR. So here we see at the beginning, it's number 1, 2, 3. So you have the opportunity to do like out into blind cross or starting just on one hand, like waiting here for the dog and running together. Because I don't know which shoes I have to wear, first I decided carefully for the Enoffs with the multiple naps. The grass was a little bit wet in the morning. So yeah, I had completely no idea and no experience. So the problem about the football shoes is the naps are super fat, very good for wet ground when you get into the ground with the naps, but the ground was a super good ground and a super good grass. So I thought that I cannot go into the ground with my naps of the football shoes. So I carefully started with the multiple knobs, with the Enoffs. Yeah, and it was not the best decision. So I was not slipping, but it didn't felt very good. So I had to run very careful not to give too much pressure into the ground. And so for the beginning, it was like a super fast start. You have to run away to push number 5 a little bit. Yeah, I was a little bit frightened of my dog that she running to the left side or something. So I want to be fast to give a push to number 5. Then here you could decide if you want to layer number 14 or not. But normally when you have to push from behind, you are fast enough to go inside. We will see later in the runs. Then there was a situation 6, 7, 8. I think everyone was intending to like a blind cross into an inside straddle over here. For number 8 to number 9, here you also can think about layering or not. Yeah, and then here you have the 2 opportunities to do like a backside straddle or to do a blind cross into backside. So 12, 13, 14 was a little bit crazy because the line was like dogs were jumping after the wall jump because you have to surround this jump. Then you go inside, the dogs were jumping too far, focusing number 6, coming back to you. And so the line was not super good for the weave. So you have to give a lot of power for focusing the weave. So in the end, we had like 16, 17, it's a tunnel over here. Yes, and in the end, there was like a little bit crazy line because I do like out into blind cross. So the dog are going super sharp over here. And then number 19 was a little bit in the line of the handler. So it was important to be super fast to give a push for the out. At the same time, not standing in the way of the dog, giving a good push for 19 and then the rest was for free. So this is about the course. So I think like a beautiful course, just important to know or to see that from number 13 to 14, you can have like a bad line that you have to push a little bit more for 15. And the second thing is like giving a good push instead of running away. And at the same time, giving also good push for 19. This course was by Stefanie Semkat. Like I said before, I was super frightened about her courses, but this course was like for the first course was absolutely brilliant to get into the competition. So in our team, first always Tobias had to start with Dörte. So you see he's doing the inside straddle in the beginning to be fast enough to give a 5, surrounding the jump into blind cross, inside straddle. Here also the next blind, like I said before. Then here we have the hard line to weave. But for him it looks like super easy. Here the blind cross. Yeah. So in reality you see the situation over here. Like I said before, from 18 to 19 was much more fluent than it looks on the course. So I mean here from 18 to 19. In the plan for me it looks like the jump number 19 is a little bit in your line, but this is giving a good push over here and have no problem to find a good line for the end. So absolutely good run, perfect for me to relax a little bit, that we just have clean run. So with Via and me, for sure, it's the first international competition. So I realized in the training that she was super wild, and I was even not sure with my shoes. So I was super nervous. I decided also for the same option like Tobias did, like with the inside straddle. And here I was a little bit frightened to be too slow, and then I gave absolutely too much push to number 5, and that's why she was thinking about a rear cross. So absolute my mistake. So she fell down and lost a lot of time. Yeah, but paid good attention. Same blind cross into inside straddle. Also same blind cross like Tobias, a little bit late because of watching too long. Yeah, she was much faster than I expected. So the weave also not the problem. And of course everything looked a little bit harder. So in reality it was super fluent. Okay, 18, 19, also no problem. I gave the push like I said before. And we had the second clean one. So just Max and Silas left. Yeah, Max also same option at the beginning. Mac was super fast at this weekend. Here you see he decided for the rear cross instead for the blind cross into inside straddle, but she had a lot of power and so it was super fluent. Even for the rear, the blind cross is not possible, so we had to do from behind. Here we had the first bar. I cannot see a mistake of Max. Maybe she had the wrong tactic. Let's watch his arms. It goes a little bit to his body, but I think an advanced dog can do it. So I would say a little bit bad luck. And here we saw first time the problem of the line from the wall jump to the next jump over there. So Meg was jumping a little bit too far and then seeing that she had to do a turn and falling down on the ground. Yeah, I think she was super wild and had to get used to the grass a little bit. And like I said before, for me the conditions like a super hard ground with a good grass, but when it's wet in the morning, it's super hard to run for the dogs. Even you would see later at the medium competition that when you are at the beginning of the day on the wet ground, yeah, it's much harder for the dogs, and so it's much harder to have good times like the people have which are running a little bit later in the middle of the day. So that's like, yeah, a lot of people are discussing about if it's good to use grass or going outside at European Open anymore. I think these are the situations where you can see, yeah, when you have so many good starters and everything is so close, I think, yeah, it's not fair when you have like wet grass in the morning and dry grass a little bit later. So always when you're going outside, it's, yeah, you need a little bit luck that the conditions are good. I don't know if it's good or bad. Everyone knows that it's these conditions, but I think it's interesting to think about how to do European Opens in the future. For me, grass is also cool to run. It was a super good grass, a perfect round. You cannot say some negative about it. But yeah, the question is if it's even fair in the end. Also good blind. So yes, so we had one bar of Max. So now we are hoping for a clean one of Silas and Gadget. So also inside square start. So super fast, no problem for number 5. Also the blind. For sure he will be the next. Yeah, mine was the closest. I was watching too long. But Ria was so fast, much faster than expected. I had to get yes, that was Silas' mistake. Like opening the tire. Yeah, I think it's a little bit the same like with Max. Getting used a little bit to the conditions. I think Silas also not running outside so much. So I think our dogs are all young. Yeah, not dirty, but the rest. so they had to get used to it a little bit. Yeah, so because of this mistake of Max and Silas, we had like one mistake. So this are the individual results of this run. So Kevin O'Deal won, Tobias Wüst was second with Dörte with a super good time, and I'm super proud with Via. I had like 30-50, so like half a second slower than Dörte, with even falling down after I think it was number 5. So you see she was much faster than at the tryouts, and with some good handlings and a little bit luck, some very good times were possible. I don't know what falling down costs me, but yeah, it was a handling mistake, so it's my fault, so it's not interesting to think about which time I had without a bet number 5. Yeah, so let's go on. So next we had our medium team. It was like Tobias Wüst with Mercedes, me with Cashew, Maurice Münch with Twix, and Silas Bug with Beam. Yeah, it's a super interesting team. At the tryouts, we were like place 1 to 4, and so we decided to make a German number 1 team and a German number 2 team. It was also super interesting for me to run even with Krista to train for the World Championship. But yeah, I think the solution which is fair for everyone is to do just from the placements. So Maurice Münch, I think everyone knows him. He's super safe. He's never making mistakes, and normally in the row I was like first starter and he was third starter, and I hate to be the first, so I asked him if he can switch with me, and he's super easy. He said like, if you want that I run first, no problem for me. And I think in this combination it's super cool to have like Maurice, which is always running clean, and then we have like Tobias, Silas and me, and then we just need like 2 of 3 runners with a clean run and can try to make it super fast. I think this team was absolutely perfect and super strong for this competition. So this is the medium run. So the beginning was like an inside straddle again. Then we had like a front or blind cross, or like out into blind cross, like out, staying on the right hand for pushing number 3 to number 4. Then layering or not layering the double jump to the tunnel. Then here was a little highlight, because in the runs before you realize that a lot of dogs are not taking the tire jump. Don't know why, because I would never think about it, that it could be wrong. So a lot of dogs missed it. So we had number 7, number 8, then it was a super fast straight for number 9 into a blind for 10 to 11, because I think it's good to be inside here to be relaxed at the weave pool entrance, to can cool down a little bit. Yeah, even possible to do like with a rear cross, but then you are late to the weave. I think even with a rear, not so difficult, but I like to have the feeling to have some time here to concentrate on the entrance. After the weave, we have like a blind cross inside, then you have to push a little bit for 14. Then here you have an automatic line. So at 14, the dog's having like a big bow coming to number 15. My plan was that it's not so wide, to have like the line here into the tunnel, call my dog that number 16 is not super straight, it's like a little bit crossed. To have a good line for 17, then you have like a out into blind for 18, 19, 21, and then you can think about doing a rear cross, or like putting a blind cross into it. So super fluent course. Yeah, it's from ESA. Nice. Yeah, I liked it a lot, and also a very good first run to get into the competition. Just good lines, interesting course, and fast. Good for the dogs, good for the handlers. So, and it was a little bit later at the day. So the ground was dry, so the multiple knobs were absolutely perfect for these conditions. So first we see Maurice Münch with Twix. He's not the fastest, but like I said, always clean. Was super cool to have him in the team, because he's absolutely uncomplicated and a nice guy. So he decided not to layer. Doing the blind cross over there with no problems. Like I said, having a lot of time for the weave. There's the blind into one hand for pushing. Out S-line. Last straight with the blind. And the front cross at the end. That was not the best turn, but was a clean one. Good for the team. So then we had Silas. He was second starter. He decided for like backside S-line. You see, after we realized that some dogs are not taking the tire jump, we had a little bit more. I think he was choosing the same options, like Maurice did. And also had a super nice clean one with a very good time.
Halt die Fahne.
So then there was me, third starter. I did the same options like Maurice did.
She's struggling.
Cashew was super fast at this ground, so the blind cross was a little bit close, but still okay. Yeah, it was easy one. Just concentration, good lines, let the dogs run, bring the crosses. So no problem. I choose the catch in the end. So for Tobias it was a good situation because we had our 3 clean ones and it was just up to him to be faster than Maurice, just to make the points a little bit stronger. So luxury position. And Mercedes was crazily good. She's getting faster and faster in every run. She was also beating like Cashew at normal competitions before. And even at this tournament she was amazingly fast. Yeah, also Tobias did like a super good clean one. So we had like 4 of 4 cleans with the medium. So here the individual results. So for me with Cashew it's like, yeah, super crazy situation because last year I won like everything. It was like World Championship individual, European Open individual, and also both teams. And I don't know which, I didn't know which motivation I should have, because you never will be able to have a year like this again. And he's also like getting 9 years in November now. Yeah, so I try to think it's good just to win one of it. That would be fabulous. And I never had the expectation to have the same year again. And I also realized that the young dogs are getting closer and closer to me, and Cashew is not like 5 years ago the dog who wins always like with 2 or 3 seconds in front of the others. 4 or 5 years ago it was like, am I 1 or 2 or 3 seconds faster than the others, and now I'm super happy when I win. And here you see the jumping. I had a super good clean run. I was like fourth place, and there were 3 people faster. But my run was very good. So with the 4th place, I was super satisfied. But that was the first moment when I thought like, oh God, on this grass, with this starter field this year, it would be super hard to win. So I tried to get some distance to accept to win it. So I tried to put my expectations a little bit down, not to be so disappointed in the end. And I think after what happens all of the last year, like with losing Bojana and winning everything and realizing what's important in life, for me it was like I just tried to enjoy the competition. For sure, when I'm there I want to win, but I tried to keep some distance to it because it's not realistic to be always on the top level, even when the dogs are getting older. So Cashew was place 4, Tobias was like 31.65, so 11th place, and Silas 18th place. So all the 3 runners which are in the points, who are in the points, had like place 1 to 20, so under the top 20. So super strong one for our team. So next there was the small agility one. Too stupid for sure. Break. So this is the team agility from Morton. Yeah, we had like number 1, 2, 3, number 4 for number 5 to the seesaw. After 7 we go we had to do like a circle. Means you can decide of doing a blind cross after number 5 or now after number 6. Yeah, I remember the course. It's like, yeah, here it was a little bit crazy because you had to decide which line you want to go, because you had a lot of opportunities. You can think like you go about going the long line or like going the circle. For here for sure we go the circle. Then you had like number 8, number 9 and number 10. I think this line is the most intelligent one. So 7, 8, 9 and go with some fluence onto the A-frame. So then we have number 11. Here you can also decide to doing the S line or do a circle to the weave. Then there is a tunnel into a blind cross where you have to leave the weave a little bit for 14, 15, 16, 17, tight turn to 19 and 20. So generally it looks like super easy, super fluent, little bit crazy situation over here. And yeah, one decision and one, yeah, like foundation exercise to leave the weave a little bit. So a nice course with good lines. So first Tobias again, Dörte. So you have the perfect beginning with the blind cross in front of the seesaw. Then you have the circle line, like I said, the second circle line, then the S line onto the A-frame. For me, absolutely the best solution. Then here he decided for the circle. I think because it's a team run, everyone decided for the circle. Because the S line was a little bit harder to run. We didn't know if it's faster, so we decided for the easy solution. So then there was the mistake. So Dörte, with close to be 9 years old, came out of the weave. So I think Tobias was even surprised like me because this never happens. So concentration. So, and I'm sure because of not expecting it, he was not able to correct it. Yeah, he was missing 2 doors and he realized it was too late because he was too far ahead to rescue it. But like I said, I would never expect that this could happen. Crazy.
Ich bin hier.
So now it's up to Via and me. For sure, a big pressure. And let's go. 1, 2, 3. The dog walk and surrounding the wall jump. I think, and I really think, Via is super intelligent, and always when I train with her, she's learning the courses. And at the day before, we had like the same dog walk on the same position, and over here in the corner there was like the U-tunnel where you go inside. And I'm sure she accelerated for the tunnel, and when she realizes that there is the wall jump, it was too late. And that even was super stupid and said like a verbal cue for running forward. Yeah, so the combination of thinking about the tunnel and me giving a push over there was absolutely stupid in this situation. I think if I thought about it before, I would call her at the dog walk. Yeah, but I had no idea of this. Later it's always easy to say, but I was able to rescue the one fold. I also decided for the blind cross in front of the seesaw. With the same lines like Tobias did. So and Ria is like just, I think at the European Open she gets 3 years. That was her birthday. I think it's Saturday. She was able to do the weave, so she's super young. And yeah, because her speed is always changing, it's super difficult for me to get used to it. So we are not like fitting together perfectly, but we're getting closer and closer. So in the beginning she was just fast, not paying attention. Then there were tryouts where she paid attention and was not so fast. And at European Open she was super fast and paying a good attention. And I have to get used to it. It's just maybe the grass, which was hard for me in the beginning, and her new speed maybe for her on the grass, which were hard for us to have more clean ones like intended. So then we had Max and Silas. So he did a great beginning. Good seesaw. They're the same line like Tobias and Nick have chosen.
Walking is finished. Please leave the course.
So also the circle line to the
Please
weave.
leave the course.
So good weave. No problem for the blind. And the big circle in the end. No problem. So we had a clean one. The first. So for sure big pressure to Silas. Because we already had like 2 mistakes for sure in the team result.
Course walking, group 4. Course walking, group 4.
No, somos el 3.
Close seesaw.
¿Se lo ha pitado? ¿Le ha pitado Balancín?
Let's call it close.
Porque va a gritar la gente.
Hoopala. Like slipping a little bit.
Mira, mira el lado cómo se va a ir este.
And the weave.
Oh, otro.
Oh, and the same like Dörte. A little bit crazy. Normally it's no problem for dogs. I cannot even understand why this happened with both dogs. Normally easy for them. Yeah, so in the end we had like just 1 clean one of Max and 2 ones with 1 mistake. So I'm super happy that I rescued the refusal and the weave pole mistake of Silas. So in the end the result was not very good. But for Max it was a very good run. He was like 2nd place in the individual rankings with a really good time. Absolutely crazy, the 1st place. Half a second faster. But 2nd place for Max was super good. So yeah, with being super close to Max normally, I was super motivated with Via for the individual runs. But for the team, the results were not the best. And so we had to wait for the results. So, and our team, we are super lucky of being 7th, because like having 3 mistakes all in all in the points. Yeah, like Tobias, 1 clean one, 1 elimination, me 1 clean one, 1 time, 1 refusal like Max, 1 mistake, 1 clean, and Silas like 2 times with 5 points. Yeah, but 7th place was super good for it. We were not expecting it, but yeah, in the end we were super happy to qualify for the final. So, and there's the agility team medium. Yeah, so it was the run from Kine. The beginning was a little bit crazy for me because you had like 2 options. Option number 1 is like to stay on this side, give the dog a push for number 2, but with some distance to be fast enough to push number 4. For me, it's super crazy beginning, because when I give a push over here, my dog will have a big boat and he have to correct while I'm running forward on this side. So very hard to be fast enough over here. When you concentrate on a tight turn, then for sure you will be too slow to reach number 4. So I decided for doing like 1, 2 into a blind cross. Normally I would intend it to be a front cross to have a good line over here. But I also wanted to do a blind cross here instead of the rear cross, because I don't like rear crosses in stressful situations like European Open D runs. So I decided to the blind to risk a big bow. What means to risk? I know that he will do a big bow, but it was okay for me because I know then he needs a little bit longer in the tunnel and I have no problems to do the blind. So I decided for the team to lose a little bit time over here to be fast enough for the blind to number 4. Then we have number 5. Then you can layer the long jump or even not. Going to number 6 and number 7, then the tunnel was in line to the long jump or maybe to the out. So it was important to call the dogs, like giving a push after that. And then a very easy dog walk slalom situation. Then there was like a blind cross for 11 on the left hand. Our backside circling for 12. And then you can decide to do like 13, 14 on the right hand because the tunnel was absolutely in the line of the handler. So we decided to do like 13 into blind again for the next blind after 15. For sure it would be possible to do on the right hand, but like I said, with the tunnel over here for the handler was not so comfortable. Then there was like 15, 16, 17 S-line backside into one hand, into inside straddle. Yeah, I don't like these lines with Cashew because he's he has some trouble to jump it, but it's not that I don't like the line. I don't like it just for Cashew. With my border collie, it's absolutely no problem. Then there's 18, a long line for 19, 20. And then I always, when I train discriminations, I know that my dogs are always intending to do the last option. So here was super important to know that the dogs are intending to go to the right side. So to send number 19 and go direct line over here in direction to 21. And not like helping here too much and going like into a circle line so that the dogs are maybe doing also the circle. Yeah, so just important to wait to do a short blind cross, wait at 18, give a push to 19 and have the opportunity to go this straight line over here. Beautiful course. Just the beginning, I think the line not perfect for fast dogs. So here you see Maurice. Maurice was deciding for the hard solution, but normally his dog have not so big bows. So yeah, okay turns. Let's say okay turns, not super turns. So he decided to run everything on the left hand. Super interesting for me to see it, that it works. But I think it's even hard. You see, also with his dog, which is not the fastest one, it was so close. So we have the seesaw, like calling, giving the push, perfect handling from Maurice. Dog walk into the lead, no problem. Even this course was, I think, a very beautiful course. Just number 2 to 3, I think for fast dogs, difficult to have a perfect line. So, and there he decided. Normally, when we did the course walk, he said like that his intention was to do like mine and Silas and Tobias, like doing a blind cross in front of the wall jump and also a blind cross after the wall jump. But in the one, he forgot to do it. And then he did some spontaneous handling. But crazy that it worked so well. So here was the push with the tunnel in the line and being fast enough for the next jump. So when you watch it, it looks super easy. The course walk, I thought like that's impossible. So here he goes the direct line to the last jump, absolutely no problem. But you see that he was like handling everything I said in the at the course map. Maurice did perfectly. So then we had Silas, second starter. Oh, he moved the jacket in the sun. So he decided also for the blind to see the big bow over there, but then he can do the blind. So for me, Maurice's solution looks better. Okay, there he pushed. So for being dog walk situation, absolutely no problem. So the same blind cross out and then backside, and Silas is doing solution I want to do, but just I did the blind later. He decided for a front, I think front cross. I think it was not necessary, but was in the end it's not important. And no problem for the last jump also. So again, 2 of 2 clean runs for us now. So no Cashew. My start looks the same like Silas. Also the bow. Ah, beautiful. Yeah, layering to the seesaw. Super bad seesaw. The team ones were not so hard. Just concentrated. So here the blind. It's a good solution over there. Next blind. My beloved backside S-line. And also being in front of the dog at the last jump. So at this time we also had like 3 of 3 clean ones. So for Tobias it was like just enjoying the moment. Yeah, same bad line from 2 to number 3. So it's interesting to see that Maurice's solution was the best. But also would be interesting to see with the faster dogs if number 2 to 3 would be better. Because also Twix had a little bow over there, but not as big as the other set. Hoopala hoop. Just one step A-frame, but seems to be inside. Very good backside, and also the same in. Yeah. So I think the team medium was, all in all, was absolutely brilliant. Like 8 of 8 clean runs, and so in the end, we earned to be on the first place in the end for the tryouts runs. So here are the here's the ranking for the medium agility. So the first German was like Christa Kabay, 35.87, and me 35.94. So super close behind her. So as you can see here, like I said before, with Cashew in this run, place 7. I just had like a big bow after number 2. The rest was close to be perfect, and yeah, it's stupid, but just 7th place. So like I said again, it's, yeah, I realized that this European Open maybe would not my European Open. And then Tobias Wyss also super time with Mercedes, 36.16, very close after Krista and me. Then maybe Silas Buk also, yes. So Silas Buk, Tobias Wyss and me also again on the top 20. So like I said, in the end we won with 8 of 8 clean runs with very good times. So Maurice was absolutely perfect for the team because he always started with a clean run so that the others could relax a little bit, and that was super nice in the end. I really enjoyed it. So thank you, Maurice. It's Saturday. We have the individual tryouts for the final. First, we started with the medium course of Stefanie Semkat, and with Cashew, I was in a perfect situation. I don't had to run it because I was qualified for the final from last year because I won it. Then you are automatically set it for the final, like the last starter. But I decided to run them because I wanted to help Cashew to get a little bit more used to the ground. Here we have the course. At the beginning we have like 1, 2, 3, 4. Here you can think about like doing a blind cross into one hand because, like I said, Cashew's biggest weakness is like backside S-line combinations. When I stay here, then you normally have some problems to find the jumping spot. So I normally are intending to do like blind cross inside straddle, but then you have to do like a second one, and then the line to number 5 is super long. Yeah, that were my thinkings. I couldn't decide for like making it easier for the dog or making it easier for me, because when you're here, like I said, it's super hard to get over here, and running here with like a rear cross would be super hard to get to number 7. So in the end, I decided to make it harder for the dog, because I think with a big bow over here, because it's always drifting, the line is good, and then I have a super good straight to push him to number 5, to have the layering like automatically, because he's drifting, it's for free. To get ahead to number 7 for like inside straddle, so wait for the dog, send dog number 7 to number 7. At the inside straddles, he's super good in taking the jump from alone, so no problem for me to go over here for the blind cross to do the circle line. At the course walk, I was thinking a little bit about using this line, but it's also like the backside S line, and when I can choose for the circle line, I choose it. And then the crosswalk, all the other fast dogs and handlers are doing this line, and so I thought, okay, my dog is one of the 10 best dogs here, so I can do the maybe slower line, not to have this bar over here. So at 11, 12, 13 for sure, I decided to do like a blind cross into inside straddle, because here to do like backside blind cross, it's a super, super fast line, and then I'm completely in his line. So the risk of the bar would be amazingly high. And here in the end, that's a super interesting situation of Stephanie, because I had like 3 options for me. Like the first is like running inside, shaping the dog, staying behind to have this line, and having a direct weave pole entrance. The positive is you have the good line. The negative, normally Cashew is like watching me and not running anymore, so I would lose time. Second option would be to run inside and doing like a compromise of shaping a little bit and doing a front cross, with the problem that it's possible when he's wild and not doing a good turn and jumping too far, that I'm standing in the way over here. Because of shaping, it's impossible to be fast enough to give a free line over here. And the third option would be to like layer it and waiting for him over here. So I'm completely not in his line, but I have not the power to have an effect at 17. So maybe having a bad line over here for 18. I don't know what I decided for. We will see later. Yeah, and then 19, 20, 21, 22, for sure, it's easy. Yeah, let's see the run. This time I decided for the football shoes. It was in the morning, the wet grass and the dry ground and the hard ground. It's the same like with here in the morning before. So I wanted also to test which shoes are better. Now it's the football shoes. The day before I used the Inoffs. For the rest of the first day, it was always dry. We were very lucky with the weather. So I always wore the Inoffs on Friday. So, and you see in the beginning, I decided to make it difficult for a dog and not for me. And there is the bar for sure. Yeah, and yeah, it's always easy to say later. Would be better to decide for a blind cross inside into next blind cross to the tunnel, risking to be too slow at number 5, but I think it would be possible. So, took the wrong decision. But he was also a little bit slipping. Maybe it's also some problems of the ground, and then after the bar he knows that I'm a little bit pissed. So he's not giving full power over there. So there's the blind. That's a good solution over there. And you see he's not stretching completely. Blind cross inside straddle, that's what I'm using normally to avoid the problem I had at number 3. And there, okay, my solution was like layering this jump. Yeah, I layered this jump and hoped that he will have a good turn. Because of the bar, for sure he was reactive and had a very, very good turn over there. So I was not in his line and I was super happy with this solution. But the power generally was not good after the bar. You see, he's not free. He knows that I'm not satisfied. Yeah, this is the glorious number 3. Normally it looks good. There was a good angle, but yeah, don't know. Maybe slipping when he started to take off. So here you see my football shoes. So on a hard ground, they are not comfortable to run. So I was not sure if it's a good idea to take them on the hard ground. But it goes absolutely perfect. So for the next runs, that was the only positive thing about this run. I know that when the grass is wet, it's perfect to wear the football shoes. Tobias had super good ones. He had a little bit more nubs and a little bit shorter. And so it was a perfect compromise between my Inoffs and this football shoes. I like to talk about the shoes. But I think on the grass, it's super important to know which one you have to use. Normally in the hall, yeah, it's never a problem. So we have what's interesting over here. We have Silvan Zumturm with a good time, place number 6. Christina Kabay. She also had a super, super good run. And even here you can see that even Krishna with always super, super good run, she was second in the end. She was just place number 10 over here. So you see, it's the thing I talked before. with the conditions in the morning and the conditions in the afternoon. I think because the German team was one of the first teams which have to start, it was close to be impossible to have the good times like the others had, which had to run later. Sorry when there are someone faster, which also had to start more in the morning, but our dogs, I think in Germany, are not used so much to grass and these conditions. So maybe good for us to train a little bit more on, yeah, it's hard to say bad conditions, but not perfect. Let's call it not perfect conditions. And then Silas Bug on place 25. I'm not sure if he qualified with this run or with the other run for the final. I think it was the A run later, because just 18 dogs are qualified for the final, and Silas with a super perfect clean one was just on place 25. So also maybe a reason to think about the ground situation, the underground situation. So, and the first time was Krishta's time was 33:10. I think Cashew's time, yeah, he was even slow after the bar. Cashew's time was like 33:97. So he was like, yeah, more than half a second slower than Krishta. And Tobias Wüst with 32:95, also very good time, I think. 32:95. Tobias would be place number 9 with this. Very good, so top 10. Faster than Krishta. So like I said, Mercedes was absolutely amazing this weekend. Cashew's time, let's don't talk about. He knows when it's important and when it's over. Like with close to be 9 years, when you have a mistake, he knows, okay, the run is over. And like in the final, he knows, now it's my time. That's what I love about him. He knows me so well. So now we have the European Open jumping small from ESA. So the individual. So the course, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, weave pole 6. We have 7, 8, 9, normal wave for 10, 11, 12, 13, backside with the tunnel, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. I think it was like a super beautiful course. At the beginning, it was super hard because this tunnel was in the line of the handler. So you have to do like number 1, trying to do a tight turn, but you cannot hold so much pressure for the turn because you have to accelerate for the blind cross over here. At the moment when you accelerate with the dogs, they normally go for focusing something else. So the tire jump was a big risk. So you had to find a compromise of like giving some pressure for number 2 and like going ahead for the blind cross at number 4. So here it was important. You see how the jumps are in line to slow down the dog a little bit, that they're not going too far here for number 5 to lose some time. Then you have the weave pole. I decided to stay just on the right hand to run directly here for 6, 7, 8. Then there's like a normal wave. 11, no problem. 12, also no thinkings. Then 13, you can do like blind cross over here or blind cross after 13. I decided to do here. After the blind cross, super important. That's the mistake of many. That was the mistake of many people. When you run to this direction, the dogs just can see the tunnel. So it's important to do like a very close one, to run to the middle of the jump, that the dogs have a free view to this wing over here, that they can do like a discrimination. I think discriminations just can work when a dog can see both options and not just one option. So then 15, 16 was for free, 17 was also for free. That's like just outside S-line. Yeah, and the rest also you can decide for a circle or for going the long line. On the plan, I was absolutely confident to decide for the longer line, but in the crosswalk, it looks a little bit more for the circle. Yeah, that's the cross. So we see Via and me again. I was super motivated because of the times of the days before. Yeah, I was motivated to go to the final and maybe doing a top 5 or something. I think it was realistic with the speech he had.
25 minutes past 11. We're going to continue with the last 2 groups.
So here we see the beginning, the compromise
dogs.
into the blind. So and
Continue
here I did the first mistake. Like I said at the cross map, I want to slow down over here. I didn't, and so she drifted out a lot. So I lost time the first time over here. So I had to rescue and had a very easy weave pull entrance angle. But she did like first door into the third door. I think the handling was not so bad. I stayed back a little bit. She had a good focus. Yeah, because of the rescue, the jump before, I struggled a little bit, but I had a very, very good position to the weave. So it was like just a 45-degree angle. Yeah, so I think she could do it. But like I said, it was her birthday. She was getting 3 new conditions, more speed.
Continue at 11:25.
Could happen when you have a young dog. It's absolutely a pity because I had big intentions. Yeah, so the run was over for me at this point. Yeah, but you also throw the wall jump, then it was over like. So even with a good weave pole. Yeah, this situation where all the other dogs run into the tunnel, absolutely no problem. Rest, super easy, good speed. I'm super proud on her. She did a very, very great job. There are just some young dog problems which we have to fix, and some more, and she needs some more experience, and I think then everything's fine. So what's important to say over this run, Max Spins did an absolute amazing run. He was like winning on the first place with 32.91. Then we have Maurice Münch with Swoosh. He also have like a small dog, also very good time, place number 7. And from Germany, Tobias Wüst, also have a good run, 34.25, 11th place, so also qualified for the final. So here we have from Morten the individual agility medium. So this one was like we have number 1 to number 2, number 3. Normally people always would do like backside blind cross, like you know from my jumping. I decided for sure for the inside straddle. Then you had to do like a blind cross after number 3. Yeah, you can also do like a rear, but I decided for the blind cross after number 3 for getting to number 4 to number 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Here we had a little bit crazy situation with the wrong jump over here. So it was important to call the dogs over here at 8. So I wanted to have a little bit wider line, to have like a round line to number 9. So that number 2 is not an option for the dog. So Cashew is very, very good with not going out of my hand. So for him, it was an easy situation. Then here we have my beloved backside S-line. So blind cross, inside straddle not possible because of the wrong jump over here. I decided for taking the time and using the backside S-line. Then we had like 10 front cross to the seesaw. With a blind cross, I think the line would be super, super bad. Front cross was perfect over here. Doing a cross after seesaw at the European Open situation, I don't feel it. So I decided for the front cross because at the back sides, Cashew needs a little bit. So it was easy for me to get in front of him for the front over here. Then there was super easy 12, 13, 14, 15, like absolutely straight line, good focus for the dog, sending to the reef, like inside straddle, backside, blind cross, no other option over there, would be crazy to run over here. So also backside S-line, then sending to number 18 to be fast enough for 19. And here there were a lot of people in the course walk thinking about using the S-line over here because it's a little bit more fluent, but the tunnel was super hard when you send the dog doing a blind cross because the tunnel looks a little bit more like this. To have not a big bow over here, and then also after this you have a lot of power for 21, maybe the tunnel 22. So normally the people decided to use the circle line over here, to can use the straight at 21, 22. So and here we see Cashew's run. So we see the in-offs again because it's later at the day. Conditions are much better. So we have the inside straddle start. Blind cross after the A-frame. Big circle was generally an easy cross. Just the situation you have to pay a little bit attention, but was no problem. See the front cross, we see seesaw. Now okay seesaw. So jump tunnel, then the easiest dog walk contact ever, but he missed it. So the last year he did this many times. And for last year, I trained a lot, everything. I was super motivated to win after my fucking 2019, and he was in perfect shape. And after the last year, I was very lazy. And in front of the European Open, because of jumping so many times like this, I retrained the dog walk and I fixed it. So it was super good in the training, super good at the training days at the seminars before, super good at the team runs. And in this moment, he just thought about flying is a good feeling. Yeah, YOLO, you only live once. Thank you, Cashew, for this. But it's like it is. So we have the mistake, but I wanted to know my time. So I continued. So here we see the circle for the straight at the end. Yeah. The plan was good, the contact not, like you see here. I think, yeah, not so close. So for my time, we can see later. So what's interesting to say over here, Jennifer Crank again. Tobias with Mercedes, super good time. 5th place with Mercedes. So he was super motivated for the final because Mercedes was absolutely amazing. I was super proud on her because in the past she was watching too much and not running super fast, like overthinking. And now she's getting more free, and I think she's still not at the end. She has there's some more space to be faster. So it's absolutely interesting to see what's happening next year. So I have to retire Cashew before. That's very important. Not good when he beats me so many times. So then we have Krishna Kabai, also with a super good run, place number 8. And Sina Just, also from Germany. And I think Silas was also somewhere. Or he had a mistake, I don't know. But yes, Silas was not in the final. I think he had a mistake and then a run from the jumping. He was not fast enough. So Silas was not in the final. I was so sure that he could run it, but no. Yeah, so Sinus placed 21, but she could run the final because some double qualifications, and we see like Krishna and Tobias. So for example, Tobias' time is 37:40. So we see Cashew's time with saving some time at the dog walk. Yeah, so I was a little bit slower with a very good run, and he jumped the dog walk. So I also saved some time over there. So maybe with a good contact, like 37:60 or 70, I don't know. So 37:51 would be place number 7 in the end. But like I said, with the contact, you never know. So somewhere like Krista, before or after. So you realize on the grass, there are a lot of people which are very strong. Maybe more used to the situations, maybe young dogs. I think a combination of both. Small A run of rigging. Yeah, there were a lot of discussions about it. I think there are some interesting ideas. We have like 1, 2. You can choose about this line or this line for number 4. Yeah, I think for me, this line would be more beautiful and maybe also faster, but the tire on this position was not the best. So I decided for the long line and the short way to the tunnel. Then we have like 7 meter to number 5, no problem. Here we have like 7 meter to 6 meter distance. With the wall jump to the side, there was a fence. Maybe a little bit too close. Then we have like 7, 8 here. Could also decide for the long line or for the short line. On the course map, for me, it looks for sure for the short line. But when I did the course walk, it was better to go over here, in my opinion. Then we have the seesaw, number 11, nothing interesting. 12, 13, 14, 15. And here the hardcore situation with the straight tunnel and even with the jump over here. But on the plan, there are like 7 meters, so no problem. So you can decide for running over here, staying on the right hand, doing a blind cross, or going directly to this side for 16, 17. Then you have 18, 19. Also, I think it's interesting. People are saying so much bad things about the courses, but I think situations like this are interesting, that you can choose about this line or this line. Even in the agility jumping, he had like a start with 2 tunnels. I think was also a super interesting situation over there. So some ideas I liked a lot, but maybe I would put bigger distances and a little bit more fluent lines. So I prepared a course map over here. So I rebuilt this course to see it. So I checked all the distances, so you cannot say anything about it. That's the line I had chosen. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like I said here, it's like here you have the 7 meters and here you have like 6 meter 30. Then yeah, the rest I talked about before, and here also for sure it's in the rules. So the long line you have like 9 meters, but you also can decide for the short line over here. So if this could be micros, I think I would put it a bit more like on 7 meter, like putting the tire jump in the direction to the short number 3. Then using for sure this line. That's what I would do if I would be the judge. Maybe opening this tunnel a little bit and giving a little bit more space for this situation over here. Then so that we have the 7 meter. So then maybe giving here a little bit more space, giving here a little bit more space. Also over here. Then you surely have like the circle line over here. So that's what I would do if I would be the judge for this one. And in this situation, yeah, I think it's okay. Maybe I would open it a little bit more, that you have the 7 meters, same here, same over here, and so on. Yes, then I think it would be a bit more fluent. I think this situation would be interesting. I think the tunnel was like a little bit more open, that this line was a little bit easier to get over here. Yes, but I don't try to fix everything. Yeah, I think that would be what I would do if I would be the judge, to make it a little bit more fluent over here. But in the end, I learned 2019, it's like it is. We have to deal with it. So I was super sad with Veer that I was too stupid to qualify in the jumping, because I now I had to do this run to qualify for the final. So it was a hard situation to be able to have to do this run to qualify. Was a big challenge for me for sure. So now we see the run. So you see the long line.
Sorry.
But it went very well. Also discrimination. And then here we have the problems with the changing the distances. So I have not the problem when everything's like on 6 meter 50 or everything's on 6 meter, but I don't like to switch the distance, like 7 meter from the A-frame and then 6 meter to the next jump. So Via was super fast. And because I have to get forward for the third jump, I gave a big push. She tried to get the turn from the beginning of the landing spot. As you can see here, I know directly that it's a short distance, so I started to spin my body to rescue it, but she was not able to get a turn and maybe a little bit slipping, so she hits the bar and the wing, so the corner over there. So I had my bar and the run was over. Yeah, but that was a pity. Maybe with 7 meters would be better, maybe with more experience would be better. So here with the circle, I decided for the blind. I think Drobo was not a hit, but he didn't get he was showing no mistake. For me it looks horrible. Let's see. So there was even a mistake from the bar before. Yeah, don't know. But the one was over, so not important to know. So here I decided for the long line, but it's not the perfect handling. So many of the other walls had chosen the short line over there. Yeah, so no final for VR, but in the end I have to give a big thank you also for Larissa, because she's always like helping me, bringing the dog everywhere, getting a hotel, preparing her. So I just have to concentrate on a run, and like 10 dogs before it goes, she's there with the dog. The dog is warmed up. She have the toys, she have the food. She's waiting at the finish line. She's making movies and the video clips. So thank you for this. It's super easy for me to concentrate for the runs and to work her, because Larissa is always doing such a perfect preparation. So just thank you. So here we have some times. So Martin Reed, 5th place. Silas Book with Gadget on the 7th place. And no other Germans over here under the first 18. So congratulations for the ones which are able to handle it. It was possible. I think the modern courses are super fast, super fluent. The dogs have automatically lines, and sometimes I'm missing some crazy ideas where you have to think a little bit about, or where the handler have to do something, or to do like a rhythm change. So generally I don't have a big problem with the ideas of Regine, but yeah, I think it's possible to make everything a little bit more fluent and a little bit more fair for the dogs with the same distances, for example. So, we have the big team final. Our medium team was qualified with the 1st place, and the small team was qualified with the 7th place. Tobias was also qualified with all 4 dogs for the final, with all of his teams. So Tobias was in all teams, so we decided that he can do the same part with all dogs. So the first part was the red one. So the red part is like 1, 2, 3, and here we have the hardest situation of the whole course. You have the wrong tunnel over here, and so it was super important to get a good tunnel exit, to have like a short exit over here. So you have automatically a long line at 4 to hold the power for 5 to the hard layering at number 6. The problem for the handlers was when you run over there, so the A-frame was a little bit in your line, and also the weave. So if without the weave, it would be super easy, because you can slow down over here, open, give the push, and then running like a direct line, like a V to number 6. So this line. So then it's super easy to give a good push after tunnel to number 6. Because of the weave, we had the problem that the dogs are realizing at 4 that you go to the side. So in the entrance, they see that you do a turn. So normally my dogs are always intending to watch me then. So this tunnel was interesting for the dogs, and also it's an opportunity to come inside over here. That was the main problem. So you have to slow down, give a good push, trying to stay super close over here, and then you can decide if you are confident and running directly this line, or if you run inside, giving a push, and then you also have to do like a small turn to the right side, so possible for the dogs to watch after 6. So hard situation. Then you have 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, the tunnel was not the biggest problem. Out S-line, backside S-line for 12, 13, 14. I'm not sure what's the second part. I think the second part was the... I run this part. I think I was second. Yeah, this is the second part. So it's like 1, 2, 3. This was my part with both dogs. Very easy part. You have like 1, 2. Backside, circle line for number 4, for number 5. Then you can think about here of layering this jump or not. For 6, 7, I decided to layer it because the tunnel exit was like for free. So I layer, my dogs realize in the entrance that I'm more to the right side. So I kill this jump so that they watch me, and I'm fast enough to get over here for giving some space for the weave. Then you could decide for staying here, for doing like a backside rear, or like doing a blind cross for normal backside into front cross. And here you also could choose for doing a blind cross over here, for being on the inside for the end, or like running over here and making like a blind cross after the frame. Running here was not so beautiful in the real course because number 15 I think was a little bit more over here. So it was good to go inside here. And the third and fourth pass I didn't pay attention because it was not important for me. I just had to think a little bit about the first part together with Tobias, and also I had to know when he finished, that I know when I have to go prepared for my starting sequence. We can have a short look. So I don't know which was the next part. So we have the blue course. It's like 1 backside to number 3 for the A frame, number 8, and number 5, number 6, number 8, number 9 is over here, 4, 10, 11 weave pole, 13, 14, 15, and the last part we have like 1 backside, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I think that was the last part, so I was lucky. So in the small team, we decided to start with Tobias. I was second. Max was the third starter and Silas was the fourth. And in the medium team, we had like Tobias for the first part, me for the second part, Maurice for the third part, and Silas again for the last part, I think. So let's watch the final. So all parts were super easy. Just the first part was super, super hard. Yeah, it's always a problem of European Open because you're on the same level for filming like the starters. So if Dirty, you see the wall jump, the tunnel push. He was confident, he directly ran to this spot, like I said on the course map before. So it was fitting perfectly. So very good technique. So you see the push is coming here and you don't have to change his line because of this tunnel. So it was absolutely brilliant handling over here. Confident and good. So Tobias finished his first part without any mistakes. Then there was Via and me. Oh, fast, seesaw. A little bit lucky maybe, I don't know. So like I said, I layered the jump. For sure I decided for the fast solution because I'm fast. Doing like normal backside. Running fast for the blind over there. Doing the aim frame and the inside for the rest. So now we see Max with the third part. Wow, crazy A-frame. So crazy when you're a runner, you don't realize what the others are doing over there. You just watch for mistakes. Like late blind cross, big boat to the weave. But no problem. Also clean. And Silas for the last part. Struggling a bit at the out, at the backside. But rescued with the rear. I think normally his intention would be always to do like a blind cross. So and just jump dog walk on the straight. And so we had 4 of 4 clean runs, and with this like Via's first title at her first competition. So I was super proud. So you see German time, we were super fast. Was super cool team with Max, Silas and Tobias. So we won. In the morning the weather was like stable. They said like that it goes to rain, but in the morning there were just clouds and just some wet grass. But could be worse. A little bit enthusiasm. Yeah, sometimes it's a little bit a pity with the live streams that there are not so many fans anymore at the competition. In the past it was always a little bit better. I love to have a live stream, but it's you feel a difference at the competitions. Tobias always hates to do the extra runs. So I'm an asshole, I'm always looking forward for it to see him running. So congratulations also to the other teams. Yeah, and we have the podium with Dörte in my face. And Via looks also super happy. So, and then there was the team competition. So, this was a team where I was expecting that we have a big chance to win. With small, I wasn't sure, but in the end, it was super good. And with the medium team, I was super confident because it was super strong team, like you saw in the runs before. So, Tobias and Mathilde had to do the first part again. Yeah, and there was the mistake. So let's check the line into the situation. So we have like same tunnel. We have the push, same level like Dörte, same handling. She takes the jump, but Mercedes is always used to watch Tobias a little bit too much. Yeah, and so she get inside for the backside. Crazy. So when you see from this perspective, it looks like brilliant handling. Yeah. So she's also not so experienced. So this could happen. Yeah, the handling was quite nice. Was a pity. Of course, yet Tobias and Mercedes had such a great weekend. And to be honest, I was happy that I didn't have to run the first part. For me, it was the hardest part, for sure, absolutely. So now we see the rest. For sure, all the others had clean runs, but that's agility. That's just one moment when something stupid happens and everything's over. Even with 8 of 8 clean runs in the qualifiers before. So Cashew, same handling like Via. Flying A-frame, but landing in the contact. Maurice. Yeah, I think for him it was a big pity because at the individual runs he had no chance to win something in the final, so the team was his biggest chance to go to the podium, and he had like, I think 5 of 5 clean runs at this weekend, and for me this is just amazing to have this. So a big pity not to be on the podium in the end, because I think he earned it. So the beam start looks much better. Also the rear. Silas, what's wrong? You getting old? Silas. I'm wondering. I was sure he's doing some crazy blind. Yeah, perfect dog walk, perfect last sequence. Yeah, that's agility. So in the end we are like 6th place with the elimination. Yeah, so we lost a lot of time because of the elimination, so don't know. I don't know if we were fast enough to beat Czech Republic, maybe 1st or 2nd, but not important at this point. So now we have the medium final, also course of Regime. So yeah, this course was crazy and interesting at the same time. So I also made the course map of it. So I first showed the course very fast. It's like 1, 2. You can decide of circling or going the S line for numbers 3 to 4. Then we have a straight dog walk, like horrible exit for me to number 6. So Cashew, I never trained this exit in my life. So Cashew, I be honest, he's just able to do straights, and when it's not straight, I try to cheat it a little bit. So at all the competitions, I always was able to deal with it, but this was even super hard, especially because this tunnel is in line of the handler. So when you surround this, then you're automatically closing the view to the jumps, and there's also 7 and this jump which is in the view of the dogs. So super hard situation. So on the course this looks quite horrible on the course map, but in the reality I think number 7 was a little bit more over here, so it was much better. So because you have to find from the course map a very hard compromise of shaping and doing the inside straddle, and then maybe being fast enough for a cross, for a front cross for sure, because of this jump, or staying here. Then you can like send the dog staying here, being fast enough for the rear, because the tunnel is directly in line to the jump. So I decided for the front to be on this side, to be able to call the dog, giving like a push for the out. So interesting situation, no problem. I have no problem with this. With the 7 in the better line, also okay. Don't know distance over here yet. Yeah, 11 to 12, I think it's not beautiful, but at the A-frame you can do it. So I think the tunnel, the A-frame was a little bit deeper over here. I think it ends here. So because of the tunnel, they had to surround it a bit, and so it was like a little bit more straight. So 12 to 13, no problem. 14, 15, it's just one like a straight. And there's the long jump, like in the large jumping from the days before of him. I don't like these long jumps. I'm not training it with my dogs. I don't training it with my trainees because I'm not a big fan of it. For sure you can do it, but it's not my understanding of agility. So in this situation you had the problem that the dogs, you need some body tension, that they have like a bigger line, but because of this bigger line the dogs goes over number 17 into your legs, so you have to give a push for rescuing for 18. So to like a handler to run this line over here like Krista did later, it's super hard because you have this S line a little bit, and then running against the dog is super hard for the dogs, but for sure possible like we saw. Or you give the push and staying here and then being for sure super late for these situations, where you can think about like staying on the left hand, going this line, or like doing one blind cross, doing a rear cross, or like doing one blind cross and circling this jump over here. Also the wall jump, no matter if you go this line or this line, you have like a 45-degree angle. I don't know why he built it. I would not do this angle for a wall jump, but it's allowed, so it's okay. So here we see my cross map of the medium cross. So if this would be my cross, here we see like the 5 meter. I would open this a little bit more, make it a little bit more deep. Starting from over here, there was enough space at the beginning. So I think generally the situation I like a lot. Like 1, 2, you can decide of circling or not to circle. Open this, no problem. Maybe I would put the tunnel a little bit more open and a little bit more over here. Yeah, with the distances, you no problem to fix it. So a little bit closer. So then we have the 7 meters. So then it's like a little bit more open, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then yeah, if this would be my cross, I would add like a jump, like a number over here, like 5, 6, 7. I think it would be interesting enough. Then we have number 8, like a wrong jump. Then you can also like opening this tunnel a little bit, that it's not so much in the line. You have the out situation. Number 8, like I said, was a little bit more over here. So then I would put on the 7 meters. Also, I would put this more on 7 meters. And then you see the problems. Then we have like number 8, 9, a little bit more fluent. This situation is absolutely okay for me. Then maybe like putting the A-frame a little bit easier. This jump a little bit deeper. So something like this. So that you have the chance to go a little bit more fluent into this line over here. For number 9, then you can use the same options like before. You have this jump. Yeah, A-frame, like I said, you can do, but it's not mine. Maybe opening the seesaw a little bit more, that we have the 7 meters again. This is okay for me, and I think if I would be the judge, I for sure would like use these obstacles like more like this. So like having 7 meters over here, finding a good line for the long jump. So something like this. And make it a little bit more fluent. Yeah, then in the end you have to decide if you cancel 22. In the end, I think it was this situation was super interesting. I just don't like that the dogs had the line because of the long jump, that they run into your legs. I think like this would be much easier. And then yeah, this situation I wouldn't change. I think it was interesting. Maybe like putting the wall jump over here, that you have to go the S line. So it's, yes, you have 23 obstacles, yes, because of this. So would be also interesting enough for the final to choose this last part. Difficult enough and super interesting in the end to have the straight line. That's what I would do, I think, to work with this setup. So with this, the course is quite nice. And also with the U-tunnels, yeah, I think when they're a little bit more open, it's okay, but you cannot use with the 7 meters. It's also at the wet, especially at the wet conditions, I think it's not the best idea to use them. Generally, when I'm a judge trainee and I try never to use U-tunnels. But yeah, if you want to do, I would do the course like this. I think then it would be okay. Because some ideas are really interesting. The ending and also the beginning and also this part is cool. So let's see the run.
You're taking videos of many people.
Of Krishna, yes. I started with Krishna first because I think she earned to be in a movie clip because she did an absolutely amazing run. And like I said before, at the German Championship, she was able to beat me. There were courses which are very fluent, but not perfect for me. It was like big circles, holding the dog, lot of tight circles. So I was not able to stretch cashew in these courses. So, and she did super effective job. So she won in a jumping and in a agility run against me. And also at the European Open, it was like sometimes she was faster, sometimes I was faster. So it was like 50-50. And this course was absolutely sure not made for me. So before I had to run, I said to Tobias, okay, maybe I give everything. I think it's not his course and I cannot win. I try to give everything like I always do. I will fight, but I'm not expecting to win here. Surely not. And then there was Krista in front of me and she had absolutely amazing run and absolutely amazing performance over here. So super start, super good line at 3, super dog walk, but you see here, she had like, normally she's training turns, but also she had a big bow over here. And all the other competitors had the problem that they closed the view to the tunnel, so the dogs went to the jump over here. And you see Krista's movement. She's super close to the tunnel and watching the dogs. So normally when you're watching the dogs keeping their focus to the jump. So I think she should close a little bit more to the tunnel and watching the tunnel, not to give the dog the idea of the straight jump. But Hydro was super reactive. So in the end, it was not the problem.
Nice. Good job.
She screamed. So you see this line was much better. Nice front cross. She also decided to go on this side, like I do later.
This is a broke. This is a shouty.
So here she did the front cross for a good turn. To the seesaw. Very slow seesaw. I think in the end that was the difference between Krista's and my runs. And also the bow after the dog walk. Because you see he's not running to the top, he's just waiting over here. So the seesaw is going down much slower. So long jump, like I said, weave, Hydro.
Oh, good.
Had a super effective jumping style. And then Krista goes ahead on a super interesting solution for the other side. I have another perspective. I hope the clip is a bit more sharp. And this was the moment when I was sure that Krista will win this European Open. She was like 7th last starter. So, no, hopefully good clip. So perfect beginning again. You see the ball after dog walk, but good rescue, losing some time. Super good line to number 8, good turn. So Hydro's biggest strength is efficiency. She's not running 1 meter too much, doing super movements. I think you can also even see at the long jump. So there's the line. So super good education, no problem. So she goes ahead for the blind. And like Krista's always doing the rear cross in the end, absolute perfect handling. Great run. Congratulations for this. So, and then it was me now. Like I said, it was like all or nothing. I wasn't sure what Keshu will do at the dog walk. And because I'm doing a GT very, very long, I'm used to this kind of courses from the past. But then I had 200 off with my other dogs. So, absolutely big challenge for me. But I was crazily motivated. So for the start, I decided to do like front cross, blind cross combination, because then I can make a lot of pressure for the turn. And you see, and you can also see there's the block. Turn was super, super good. Then I cheated the direction to the tunnel, and when the turn is over, I finish for the blind. So 2 to 3 also super good. Then I decided for this line with the blind over here. I think the dog walk was super, super close. So in the end, I was a bit lucky. This turn was also nice. Calling him. I decided for the other side to go against him at the A-frame. Was also super good hit. First I thought it was super high, but was a good, great hit in this situation. So in front of the seesaw I had the big bow. You cannot see in this perspective. That's where I was losing sometimes. There I was super, super lucky with the long jump. Normally my intention was to hold a little bit more body tension, but then I was a little bit stressed to get to the reef. So you see my body is spinning to the side before he jumps. And normally I wanted to take a lot of body tension and waiting for the landing spot. So that was absolutely a handling mistake. So I'm super, super happy that it was not fallen. It has not fallen. So I decided for another solution because Keshu had super good weave and added the front cross over here. I think it was not faster than Krista's solution. Keshu have a little bit more power in the straights. So maybe shaping and doing the rear cross like Krista would be more intelligent, but I never have a good feeling. So I decided for the front cross, and you see he's completely not slowing down. But the distance was big enough that it still was a little bit fluent. And so I had a clean run. So here we can see my run from another perspective. So I think there was just like half a paw at the dog walk. So here's the blind. Also, I think doing like this is a little bit faster to the tunnel, like Krista did. I think this is the first situation where I won a little bit time. Up to this point, I think both of us were extremely good. So he holds the power, and like I said before, Keshu knows when it's important. He's like getting used to the ground and knowing that he has to be fast now. That's what I love about him. He's my boy. He knows now it's important. And now you see the bow from the seesaw. So I was thinking about layering the jump. So the decision to run inside was not the best. So I slowed down, but then you have to open. And because of the opening, he went a little bit too far, but was able to hold the power. So good seesaw in the end. I think it don't cost so much time. Yeah, too fast on the left side. And here again, the blind. So, yeah, I'm super, super proud of Keshu. So for me, it's like super, super crazy to win again, because when you don't have the expectation, then it's much more worse winning it. So when I come to the finish line and I felt I was the bow at the seesaw and I don't know. I felt like having no chance against Krista because I saw her run. And yes, there was the seesaw, but I was sure that in this course she's faster. And then I asked someone when I was in the finish line, like, am I first? Am I second? And this one says, yes, you and Krista, you are first and second. And I said, okay, that's not the answer. And then everyone come to congrats me. And there was a lot of trouble. And then they called my name to go in the ring. And then I was searching for Krista because the first one was always running first, the winner's round. And then I asked Ina, she was running with me, why I am running the first year. And she said, you won. And I couldn't believe it because I was completely sure to be second. So it was absolutely amazing to realize that you won this fucking shit. And yes, and after last year, and I tried not to make so many expectations, for me it's yeah, I said it's super genius if I'm able to win one of the things again, and then winning with via the individual the team small and also the individual European Open again was absolutely amazing for me. So it was like winning European Open 3 times, like 2018, then 2019 I sucked up. I had like the first bar and the wall jump with like 2 seconds faster than the beginner. Then there were the 2 Corona years, and then there were happily 22 and 23 where I was able to win again. So you see the times. I had like 38.80 and Krista 39.28, so like half a second faster. And congrats also to James Adams. Super cool that you are the third. Yes, I'm just happy. And for me, it's like, yeah, also like German Championship, like some weeks before, like there was Krista on number 1 and I was on number 2. Now it switches again, then the World Championship is coming. It never stops. I still don't know with which motivation or mindset I have to go to the World Championship yet, because I said if I'm able to win the European Open or World Championship again, I have to retire Cashew, because it's impossible to keep this level anymore. But yeah, you saw in the final, Cashew is just amazing in these situations. And I don't know if it's intelligent to find the spot to stop before everyone can beat me, because this year in the runs before you see the time is coming, or if I even run him because he enjoys, and for him it's not important if he win, it's just for me. So it's a hard decision what I have to do. I think I will continue with him, but yeah, I have to be able to change my mind to try to try to enjoy to run him instead of try to winning anymore, because we won so many things with 2 World Championship and the 3 European Open that I think he's done his job. Cool podium, I like it. And this was the prize for the first place, was super cool. So what is this? This is the final small course. The final small course, I think, was one of the most interesting finals. Yeah, there are different opinions about it. I think it was super interesting. There was like number 1 to number 2, where you have to do like blind cross one hand into the next blind cross, or like layering the wall jump, which is super risky in a final. So normally the people used to do the 2 blinds over here for number 3. And then, because of the second blind, you're a little bit late. So you have to push from behind for number 4. So many dogs, surely, because you're pushing, are focusing number 10. So you need a very good feeling for a rear cross over here, because after rear cross, no problem to catch a dog at 6. Or you had to do like running super fast into a second blind, what's close to be impossible, or like doing like backside blind cross. I think that would be my solution for it. But depends a little bit how good you are able to deal with 1 to number 3. So maybe I would have 2 plans over there. It was absolutely interesting to watch it. Don't know if it was interesting to run it, but surely interesting to watch it. So then we have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, easy. A lot of some speed situation. Then we have like blind cross, like a half tight turn for 11. Then this part to the dog walk, yeah, was not the most beautiful. I don't like this angle so much. So you have to give a push, being fast enough for 13, then also same angle for 14, like giving a little push over here, being fast enough for blind or the rear to 17. So when you do the blind, for sure, you are fast enough for the inside straddle. If you do the rear, then it's getting interesting. And then the straight at the end. So for me to watch it was super interesting, and I really enjoyed watching it. So, and in the end, so Tobias Wüst, English. Tobias Wüst did a super good clean run, but in this course, some younger dogs were faster. I think for Dörte, it was a super good result. She was not in the best mood. She's sometimes going up and down. So in the first moment, she's like unbeatable. In the next moment, she's like giving just 80%. And I think that was like 80% one. You see her fighting to the end, but then sometimes it looked like she cannot do like she can do in the past. But with close to B9, I think it's super, super good result. Also Maurice Münch with swoosh, 5th place. So it's like 3 Germans of the top 5. That's super, super cool. Then we have Silas Book on the 2nd place with a really good run. And congratulations, especially after the fail at the World Championship to fall down 1 obstacle before the end to Martin Reed. So congrats to Martin. I'm super, super happy for you. And I think you really, really earned it after this bad luck at the World Championship. So now you are 3rd at the Worlds and 1st at the European Open. With this young dog. That's amazing. Congrats. And also to Silas, Tobias and Maurice. Yeah, so then we had to drive back home on Monday. So like 8 hours with the caravan, it were 10. I think we took the ferry over here and spent a lot of money for it with the caravan. And arriving back at home, I think at 6 or 7 p.m. at Monday. So this was my comparison of my European Open 2023. Thank you for watching. Yeah, I wanted to try a different style of a movie clip. Maybe it's interesting for someone. Let me know in the comments. So thanks for watching. And there's the bonus clip of the European Opens, of my European Opens of the last years. So thank you and bye-bye.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here's the video of the new European champion in medium, Daniel Schröder and Cashew with Eager to Rock. An absolutely brilliant agility run in this individual final at European Open and a well-deserved old and new European Open champion in medium. Have fun watching this video filmed by Working Dog.
The last dog in this medium competition, the reigning European champion individual. Maybe he can defeat this dog. There we go, Daniel and Cashew. Let's have a look at this dog. Ow, he's done it in a perfect way. Over number 7, over number 8. And he needs a clean run. He needs a clean run and he needs a fast run. It's so solid. You could have heard of Inca. That's absolutely brilliant atmosphere in the mood. And a brilliant run done by Daniel and Cashew. Wow. Now let's have a look in the weaves. Keep on focus, keep on concentration. Done it. Super. And that's going to be another clean run. And let's have a look at the time. And he did it! He did it! 38.80. And this is the new we have to wait for the official results, but that should be the old and the new European champion.
So, Tobias, am Ende des Videos muss ich mich natürlich auch mal ganz herzlich bei dir bedanken. Vor allem natürlich für diesen super, super geilen Hund, für eine wunderschöne Zeit. Das gilt natürlich auch an Larissa. Du hast mir, obwohl du selber mit 4 Hunden starten musstest, so viel geholfen und mich so hart unterstützt. Und die Zeit war wirklich sehr, sehr schön dort. Es ist absolut krass, wie gut du es geschafft hast, einfach mit allen 4 Hunden diesen Wettbewerb zu vollbringen und mit allen 4 ins Teamfinale zu kommen. Und dann nochmal mit, ich glaube, auch allen 4 nochmal ins Finale. Also 8 von 8, ganz ehrlich. Das muss erstmal jemand schaffen. Ich finde es richtig, richtig krass und gut und habe meinen tiefsten Respekt davor, meinen größten Respekt davor, wie du das alles geschafft hast, weil du ja eigentlich nur zwischen Wohnwagen und Starts- und Parcoursbegehungen hin und her rennen musstest, dir 4 Wege teilweise merken musstest. Ich finde es einfach nur krass. Ich finde, du kannst super, super stolz auf dich sein. Und auch wenn es am Ende schade ist, dass viel mehr drin gewesen war, als am Ende rausgekommen ist, kannst du einfach nur stolz auf dich sein. Und von mir daher nochmal Congratulations und ein großes Dankeschön.